The Citadelle bot lobby is still working surprisingly, and now there is an easier method to setting this up. The bot lobby is where the zombies are stuck in their spawns and they spawn over and over again, and you can get clear headshots for days for camos. The original method was a little tricky and sometimes the spawns would break or the lobby wouldn't work, but with this method it is guaranteed to work every time, and it is no stress, no fuss. So I'll show you the steps that are the same and then some that have changed. And same thing, come into the lion tunnel, place the sword, and immediately shoot at the sword. The reason why you want to immediately shoot at the sword is that symbols are flying out, and you're trying to shoot those symbols to disable the timer that normally comes up on the left. So as long as you shoot a wrong symbol before that timer comes up, then you're going to glitch this out, and just shooting at the sword seems to be the fastest way. Now you're almost ready to leave, but what I do is make sure I have duplicate symbols. I want to have 2 of each floating around before I walk out. You're not going to be Casimiring out like before, so that's great. You need less equipment. So again, I'll just shoot a wrong symbol to get the symbols to reset, and then shoot out the sword. You'll see those lines coming out, and right there I can see 2 duplicate triangle symbols, so I'm ready to leave. The original method was to stay in the tunnel, shoot 15 wrong symbols so that you build up a nice horde in there, and you got to keep shooting the zombies to thin them out, and then you had to try to get like a nice big horde of like 40 or more before you Casimired out. If you didn't have enough zombies built up inside of the room, the lobby would break or wouldn't work, and that's where it got tricky. Again, I shot the pedestal a few times, shot a few wrong symbols, got some duplicate symbols in there, so I am ready to leave. And you literally just go walk out the door. You interact with it and it will let you go. You do not have to stay in there to build up a large horde of zombies. You do still need a lot of zombies in that room to set up the bot lobby, but now you can do it from outside of the map. It's so much easier and you have so much more control, and it doesn't break. I would recommend a sniper for this. We're going to be jumping out of the map and having a nice vantage point at the lion tunnel, and we're going to be shooting symbols from outside. You'll be ether shrouding out, so you need ether shroud with burst dash augment, and then like I showed in my previous video, you want to line up across the room from that red couch. You want to stand next to this broken pillar where it's rounded, and you want to stand in between that and the edge of the steps. Once you have that placement, then you want to look up and put your crosshair above the flame and then high up on that ceiling, on that arch. It needs to be that high up, and then once you have that, all you have to do is hit jump, then ether shroud. Then you can prone and slide underneath that wall, then jump up on these stairs, crouch to get to the top. There is a death barrier at the top. If you hit it, that's fine. You can jump over it. One really big tip is do not have quick revive perk equipped if you are jumping out of the map. You take so much more damage from death barriers. The part of the map you want to go to be able to shoot the symbols in the lion tunnel have 4 death barriers you have to get past. So you're going to be running across the top of the cave slide, and you can see I've outlined the cave slide, and then you have to run and then turn left and then jump up and then go straight across. And there is a death barrier right here, further up, and then another one after you turn left. If you have jug perk, stamina up, and no quick revive, it's easy to jump over all of these and make it to the spot. For me, I don't mess with this at all. I do a method where I avoid all the death barriers, and I'll show you guys that method in just a moment. But yeah, you can jump over that one, and then that one, and I would definitely recommend stem shots if you want to do it. Here's me jumping over the death barriers and avoiding the first 2. So I jump there, and then the next one is right there, and then there's one right there. I didn't jump over it, but right here you're gonna hit a wall. You gotta go prone and go around it and keep crawling until you get to this rock, and then you can stand up once you're past the rock, and then you'll be able to have a nice shot at the lion tunnel. And what I do to avoid all the death barriers and have a very easy time in and out is I just get into a mangler suit and then walk on top of the cave tunnel. You hit no death barriers whatsoever. This part here is a little tricky because you start to lose that third person view and you're kind of smashed up against the mangler, but you can kind of see where you're going. Right here, do not come out of the mangler suit. You are still in threat of a death barrier, so just inch your way around. You have to stay up against that wall. You got to be pushing right as you walk to this rock. You're on a very tiny little ledge. As long as you stay pushed up to the right and slide your way across, you should be fine. Then once you get to that rock, you can come out of the mangler suit then you can prone underneath that rock and be able to see the tunnel. I'll show you guys the 2 safe ways I use to get out of here, but first I'll show you what to do once you get to this spot. You're going to be doing what you would have been doing in the tunnel, and that's shooting around 15 wrong symbols and resetting those symbols over and over. This method, again, can be very touchy. If you don't have the right number of zombies inside this tunnel, the glitch won't work and the spawns can break. So this allows you to easily shoot those 15 wrong symbols and then look at the map and zoom in on the zombies and count the zombies. Like, how many do you have in the tunnel? If you've got around like 45 or more, you're good to go. I personally don't like to have less than 45, but the zombies will start grouping in the tunnel in 2 areas. You'll see them ported up like right there on the bottom and then the top, and you can just count them up. And yeah, if you have like around 45 or so, you are ready to leave. The method I use is to use Mangler Suit to get in, and then anywhere but here, Gum to get out. I don't want to run back over that cave slide with those death barriers, and we all probably have a lot of these gums by now, so we can use them. If you don't want to use anywhere but here and you want to try and traversing that cave slide again, you can use a Mangler Suit to do that, and I would recommend that. I would not run back over it. It's just much harder in my opinion. So you stand up and crouch through that rock, and then you're back on that itty bitty ledge, and you're trying to hold to the left, push to the left while walking forward. There's going to be that black wall on the left. Once you pass that, you can move further onto the platform, and this is where I go into Mangler Suit. I don't go into it before. And you don't want to walk much further past that black wall because you're going to start hitting death barriers, but just get into the Mangler Suit and go very easy down this cave slide. It's very easy to fall off and slide down all the way underneath the map, and that is full of death barriers. Like, it's game over if you hit that. I walk to the end of the cave slide to the right. I stop right about here, and you can get out of the Mangler Suit and just look a bit to the left. You're gonna see that prompt to use the cave slide, and then just buy it for 500 and it will put you back into the map, into the cave slide. You'll take the slide all the way to spawn. The final step is the same, very easy. Go find a wooden box inside the castle. You want to shoot one that disappears and nothing comes out, but then it quickly respawns, and at that point the bot lobby should be set. If you shoot a box and salvage comes out, that's not the right box. You need to go around inside the castle to find another. I got lucky here to find the first box near D.O.G. I shot it, it spawned back pretty quickly, and then that zombie was stuck. So this bot lobby's ready to go. If for whatever reason the spawns break, you can go find another empty box to shoot that will respawn, and it should reset it and stick the zombies again in their spawns. But in my experience, if you have at least 45 zombies in that tunnel or more, you should be fine. I want to talk a little bit about my experience with this bot lobby with directed mode versus standard mode. Directed mode on solo is pretty bad. You're round capped at 11 and the spawns are really slow, and so I really wouldn't recommend it for that. Now, if you have other players in your game on directed mode, then it will speed up the spawns and it can make it worth it. Just know that you cannot be AFK with a directed mode bot lobby because the stamp zombie constantly runs around and attacks you. He does not get stuck in the spawns. And from my experience, turning on incantations to help solo directed mode spawns does not help. It actually makes them worse. And the original method we were using was just on standard mode, go to around 15 to 20, and then you're gonna have a nice flow of spawns. Hope this helped you guys out, and we'll see you next video.